I'm gonna say it right here and right now. Is this actually the best heroic race we've ever had? Albeit quite buggy, I will say. So you'll see that we are 8 days and 2 hours away from the end of this Grotto heroic race, and I have just hit lap 18. Obviously completely free to play, we've just got some gems. I think I've spent about probably 50 gems just because I've been getting impatient, but we easily could have made it here spending nothing. But that is the times 500 orbs on lap 18, and then we will open it up and we see this lap 18 node 1 mission. But the thing is, a lot of these nodes are quite buggy, but this time around, instead of us looking at the lap 18 guide on Ditlep, instead I'm going to go and look at the lap 4 node 1 guide. The reason being that if you haven't seen all of the news about this event and all of, you know, pretty much everyone posting about it, the way that this event works is that we keep getting these laps cycled. So from lap 1 to 7, it will keep getting more difficult. So up to lap 7, you'll keep getting harder and harder laps. And then from lap 8, it will actually reset and go back to the cooldowns of lap 1. So then rather than you having to look at what the lap 8 requirements are, instead you go up to lap 7, you do all these quests, then you go and look at lap 1 again. And that is how this event works. And so for instance, on the lap that I'm on now, which is going to be lap 18 going on 19, instead, we come back and we look at lap 4, because it is a repeat of the lap 4 requirements, which is collecting 21 food. And so, as you can see, that is the quest that we have right now. The thing about this is that, obviously, the major rewards from this have all been collected now, all the orbs. We do have a collection chest item on 20, but on this pace, if they do not change anything about this event, we've got 8 days left. It's taken 3 days for me to get to lap 18, and honestly, for one of those days, I was really busy, so I haven't been logging in as much as I could. It means that if they keep repeating all the way up to lap 30 is doable very easily, free to play. And so the rewards in the lap 30 chest would be gems, 10 million food, trade essence, rainbow tokens if you got a rainbow habitat, and then just all of these rewards and everything prior. So another 500 high grotto orbs, random heroic orbs, titan orbs, skins, heroic chest, mythical chest. If they don't change the event in its current format, this is probably the most rewarding event for the least effort since I've come back to playing. Although, to be fair, I've only come back to playing since the middle of 2022, so it's not like I've been here right from the beginning and seen every single heroic race. But in terms of how rewarding this event is for the amount of effort required, I would say that this is the best event we have ever had. Now, the problem with this event, you may have experienced it yourself, is that on specific laps of this event, it is so buggy that you can't even gem skip the quests. And I'm talking about specific battle node quests. I believe there's one on lap 14. Is it 14.3 or something? But on lap 14, people are having a lot of problems with skipping the battle node in particular. If you skip it with gems, it breaks, crashes your game, you have to restart. And if you wait for the wait timer, still crashes your game and doesn't work. If you're running into that problem on lap 14, I'd suggest trying it on PC, because for me on PC and for others, it seems to work on PC. For whatever reason, it's not working on mobile for most people. Other case, worst case scenario, if you can't do that, what you can do is you can use your booster skip on that particular battle and skip your way past it. So I know that to start off with, I said, is this the best event ever? And then I went and told you about how it's a buggy mess and keeps breaking. And it does. This event keeps breaking a lot. It will close down, quit you out after certain nodes are done, like repeatedly. But I think that is because there is something very fundamentally wrong with how they've created this event. But in terms of how rewarding it is and how much time it takes, lap 18 in 3 days is the best event we have ever had. And I hard grind most of these, if not all of these heroic races so far. And this one, I have to say, I love the formatting. If they do change this, one thing that I want Social Point to know is that they can easily make lap 15 super easily doable, but then they could make lap 16 plus the difficult laps. But I think at least making it so that someone that logs in, plays the event a decent amount, is guaranteed the dragon, I think is much better than the Nakria Ashwing format that we've been having recently. So if they can just do this repeating event cycle from, say, lap 1 and then repeats at lap 8 all the way up to 15 and then doesn't repeat, I would be so happy with that going forward. I genuinely think that that would be a massive, massive feel-good change for these style of events. And then if they want to make the 500 orbs on lap 20, I think that would be fine as well. You see, the reason why I'm almost tempted to think that this is intentional for this event is because we've got the collection chest item on lap 20, whereas normally we'd have this collection item much, much sooner. So something's telling me that they were trying to try something new with this event. Whether the looping of the laps is intentional or not, I'm not sure. But if they're going to take some feedback, and we're probably not going to see an event like this again, probably. I don't know what Social Point thinks about it. Because, I mean, we're going to get free mythical eggs, we're going to get free heroic eggs, which is nuts if they don't change it at the daily reset today. But I at least want them to take in the feedback that some of these lap rewards just don't make sense. Because, look, we've got 200 orbs at 16, 500 orbs at 18, and then if you go up, we've got 80 orbs at 22. You see what I mean? Like, the rewards that are in these laps just don't really make much sense. And then, of course, if you go further up, we've got at 29 another 500 orbs, but it's just everything seems a bit all over the place. Like, why do we have 120 Titan orbs as the lap 27 reward? Titans are not very good these days. They have been way pushed out of the meta. The skin, yeah, that is fine. I love the idea of getting a free skin if we can get it this time. The heroic Joker orbs are nice. These rewards are great, these ones. It's just there are specific ones, like the 120 skull face orbs. Bit random. Of course, it does mean that you can summon the dragon, but you're going to get him for free anyway, but depends on your placement, I suppose. But this seems a bit out of place, especially the double rewards on that, a bit pointless. But the 80 orbs of High Grotto especially are just very, very random. So, you know, at least the lap rewards themselves, I think, are worth a bit of a look at if they ever do an event similar to this one again. And, of course, fix the bugs of this event, because some people are having a horrific time just trying to log in and do nodes, and you know, if a player experiences that too many times, they might just stop playing because it's just annoying to them. The other thing I will mention about this event that I think is a massive good benefit change compared to the usual events that we have is that we normally have specific nodes with so many breeds on them, and I'm thinking specifically we used to have tons of breeding on lap 14 node 5, and yes, in this version of the event we do still have to breed 5 dragons and hatch 4 eggs. There's only a wait timer of 2 hours, which is great, so we can come back, but usually this lap 14 node 5 I believe is something like, it's either node 5 or node something, but there's like 12 plus breeds that you have to do just for that one singular node, and I hate that. And in the previous versions, like the Nakria race and such, we also had nodes. Well, there's another one that's like 8, but it's not in the 10 plus category, if you get what I mean. But then we had other laps where we had so many battles that we had to wait on. So like 10-hour, 40-minute timers, 13-hour, 20-minute timers. These had you logging in every hour all the time just to be able to skip for a few gems. I didn't mind the old lap 16 format still, but I feel like this version, this time around, more focus on like feeding dragons and the other quest types in like small bursts just feels so much better. So even if they end up completely changing the format, I at least want them to take some feedback regarding the fact that some of the tasks in the old event format are just they're just way too grindy for seemingly not a lot of reward. Especially if we're going to grind for 80 orbs of High Grotto on lap 22. If that was with old event formatting, that would not be acceptable. Like, that would just be awful. You know what I mean? So that's my main feedback on this event. I think that this is definitely an event. Even if you haven't played this event, like say you've just opened up the game today and seen that there's a heroic race, there's 8 days left to go, you could still make it up to lap 30 if it continues to loop. I think this is an event that you definitely want to be jumping in on, getting as many orbs of High Grotto as possible. The other thing that I will mention in terms of that is that because we are going to get so many orbs of High Grotto incredibly easily, one thing that I am wondering about is what the trade value of High Grotto is going to be. You know, some people just aren't going to log in to do the event, like that is clear. Some people just will not be doing High Grotto event in general. Either they're too busy, they're not logging in, or maybe they start playing afterwards. But then it gets me thinking, since I've already got 700 orbs of High Grotto, we haven't done the collection yet, we haven't done heroic combat quests, and we may get to lap 30 and get plus 500. Just how many excess orbs of High Grotto are going to be flying around everywhere? Like, it's going to be absolutely nuts if, like, each player has, like, 4,000 orbs of High Grotto sitting around. So, well, it's not going to be quite 4,000 for most. Of course, depends on how much you grind the event, but there are going to be an excessive amount of Grotto orbs around. So I'm normally someone that if you're going to do a trade, it would be a one-to-one trade only. So, you know, for every High Grotto, it's going to be one set of orbs for High Reborn, 5 for 5. But because of how many orbs of High Grotto we have, I'm almost tempted to think that this may be one of the few instances where I will probably be up to doing 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2 trades in terms of orb value. And what I mean by that is for every 10 orbs of High Grotto, someone trades you back times 5 of High Reborn. The only reason I'm saying that is just because we've got so many orbs everywhere that people that are trading for them, maybe they're trying to E5 it and didn't log in during the event, or they just want to unlock the dragon. But there are going to be so many orbs everywhere that this may be one of the few instances where I can actually understand a ratio value trade. That being said, I don't really support it because one thing about doing ratio trades is that you are going to absolutely demolish your heroic trade essence. But if we're talking pure orb value and in terms of how, you know, abundant these orbs for the dragon are, probably you're going to be seeing ratio trades no matter where you go. Of course, ideally, you wouldn't. It would be 1-to-1 because High Grotto is going to be just as good as any other basic heroic in his various arenas. But that is another thing to note, that you are going to see High Grotto everywhere in these arenas. The Dream arenas, the Primal arenas, the Earth, and the, well, the Terra and the Flame arenas. You are going to see fully empowered High Grottos everywhere. Because, yeah, not everyone grinds these events. There are still some people stuck on lap 6, but for those usual players that hard grind the heroic races, they are going to have an E5 High Grotto. It's already too late. Even if Social Point fix it at this point, unless they take all of the orbs away from everyone, you are going to see so many E5 High Grottos. You're going to see people with E5 High Grottos in a couple of days' time, which also means that because the orbs are so easy to get, you are going to see a lot of people finishing off this full heroic quest for it as well. And again, you're going to get the orbs from the heroic quest, you're going to be getting free gems. It's going to be wilding. So please bear all of that in mind. And, you know, I still think that overall this is a really good thing. You know, it's not often that we get rewarded like this just for playing an event, and compared to some other games, my goodness, this is the most rewarding event I have seen in a very long time. Now, they may change it. I think that changing it at this point would be a mistake, because you can't really make it fair if you change it because of the leaderboard section of this event, but they may still do that. That's up to Social Point and what they want to do, of course. I think changing it at this point would be a mistake because the leaderboards are just going to be absolutely screwed over if you do that. Like, if you're on lap 10 right now, they change the event and someone else is on lap 19, you're never catching them. So I don't think there's a fair way for them to fix this event. Maybe they should just leave this one as it is and just say, you know, GG, go next time. Maybe we don't do this the next time. Or if they do want to do this next event, I will not complain. If they have events like this every single time, you can get through this without spending a single gem with ease. If you do spend some gems, you can easily make it to lap 30 free to play with like less than 100 gems. And then you'll get the 200 gems back from the ultimate chest, you'll get all the other rewards. I'm just saying, this is probably the best event I've ever seen in this game in terms of rewards. So if you want to jump in on it, I highly suggest you do so now before anything changes. and I'm looking forward to getting the lovely golden boy. Look at that lovely skin. Lovely skin for a lovely boy for a very, very rewarding event. So, you know, when Social Point screw up, you should tell them when they've screwed up. When Social Point do something right, even if unintentional, tell them so that they know that this is more along the lines of what we want. We don't want to be hard grinding up to lap 18 every race in those horrible timers. Even though we did do it, I'd prefer something a little bit more chilled out. Even if the timers are like 6 hours long, we have to wait to come back. Something more similar to this, but gives you the ability to hard grind if you want to. That's what I want to have going forward. At least make the rewards on the laps more reasonable. You know what I mean? Makes sense. But anyway, thought I would definitely make this video. Even if you don't log in until the last 3 days, you can still get this dragon and the plus 500 orbs at least. So definitely jump in on this one, get the bonus rewards and pick up this stuff. But Social Point, please at least fix the bugs, because the getting kicked out of the game every node is, well, very annoying. Very annoying indeed.